In 1905, Einstein produced his groundbreaking work on special relativity, and it's pretty much changed physics ever since. Although you may not know it, the only reason we have GPS on our phones is because of his discovery. He's one of the greatest minds our world has ever seen, but has Einstein ever made a mistake? Well, I'm going to propose that he has, and I'm going to show you why. So let's start exactly where Einstein starts, with a stationary coordinate system. It's pretty much like graph paper. Now within that system we have a rigid rod with ends A and B, and its length is fixed. We also have light, which is moving throughout the system at a constant speed, and light doesn't care whether it comes from a moving rod or a stationary rod. The light is always propagating at a constant speed. So the light comes out from A, is reflected at B, and goes back towards A. So for clarity, I'm marking these as points 0, 1, and 2. When the rod is stationary, the time for light to travel from one end to the other is the same in both directions. Einstein points out that if the rod is moving, the timing won't be the same in both directions. He uses this as a reason to reject synchronism, to reject absolute rest, and introduce new concepts such as time dilation and length contraction. But most importantly, he gives us a reason to use the Lorentz transformation. This is the same formula that is used in GPS, but what about these other concepts? Does he prove that there is no absolute rest and no synchronism? Let's take a look. We have a rod moving at a third of light speed and another moving at 2/3 light speed. The faster the rod is moving, the longer it takes light to be reflected at point 1. From there, the reflected light reaches the other end more quickly at point 2. As the rod's speed approaches light speed, the time for light to reach point 1 approaches infinity, and in the other direction, the time approaches 0. Einstein defines synchronism as when the times are equal in both directions. However, his example of a moving rod is not a valid test of his own definition. He is literally moving the goalpost. As you see here, if you compare the distances of light's travel, the Lorentz formulas actually require absolute rest. Points 0, 1, and 2 are always stationary. We can use the same Lorentz formulas, but without needing these other theoretical concepts that Einstein introduced. This may be one of his biggest mistakes. But what do you think?